hearing us saying that this needed to happen. Good
Sorry,
idea, Edwina.
just hit the recording button.
Those guys will miss the preamble of me talking about all your accolades, but I'm sure they will know it themselves. So,
I'm sure that's good.
yeah. Anyway, let's dive into it. We've only got half an hour. So, Edwina, how did this kind of automated reporting, custom reporting come about?
Yeah, so custom reporting has probably been a word in our business for the last 12 or so months, with particular clients starting to request this feature. So I guess we developed custom reports in direct response to what we've been consistently hearing from our customers. Many people obviously love our dashboards because they make it easy to dive into specific scenarios and analyze that performance visually. But we also learned that there are times when a dashboard isn't the most efficient tool. So obviously for those who want to jump in and, select how a particular sire performed or select a specific paddock of animals or follow a mob of animals through, it's really good for breaking down those particular examples that you want to run through. But in order for those who want to just have a quick summary of what happened for the last 12 months or how certain genetics have performed, this is where those custom reports have come about and in a format that they're probably more familiar with receiving, so Excel or PDF. Yeah, so that's really
Yeah.
the background of why I decided to learn SQL along with the development team and try and pull some insights out for our clients that in an easier format.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a departure from the dashboards that we've done in the past. Can you kind of comment on that and why this isn't just, another chart and another dashboard?
Definitely, it's definitely a different feature to what we're used to rolling out. So you won't get an email with all these pretty charts on this new release. But I guess there's two main reasons why this hasn't been put on a dashboard, and I guess those are summarized in one, different types of users that we're seeing use the product, and two, different levels of data analysis amongst those businesses or amongst those users. So some customers have consistently told us that they need a simple, summarized table, something that gives them a clear snapshot of performance across a certain time period or particular mob of animals. Others have shared that they prefer having information delivered straight to their inbox rather than spending time navigating through those dashboards. So, there might be different levels of management who just want a summarized report. There might be different levels in that family business, more technical users versus not. They just want a snapshot whilst the son and daughter are busy doing all the data collection and putting it into black box. But I guess in summary, Shan, like custom reports have really been built to bridge that gap. So they provide the same trusted data you see in your dashboards, but in a format that's easier to access, easier to share, and more aligned with different types of users and the way
Yeah,
they prefer to work.
absolutely. I know some of my clients are using that to either pass on to accountants or banks or kind of compliance programs where they need, they don't need the graphs, they just need the data.
That's exactly right. And we're commonly seeing that, like you say, with accountants and banks, you're not going to give particular people access to your whole black box account or platform. It's really just extracting that data. You've spent all the time and effort putting it into a system, and it's there readily available for you to extract when you need it.
Yeah. So what is a automated or custom report?
Yeah, so I guess a custom report, we've built a number of what we call standard reports. So I'll walk you through what some examples of those are, but it's really a way of pulling together all the raw data points that you've got stored in our secure database, available for you in a summarized format. And as I said, most commonly in Excel or PDF. So I'll just share my
While you're getting that up, I did forget to mention, of course, the regular housekeeping of webinars that if you have a question, pop it in the little Q&A section as we go along. And yeah, we can address any of those questions as they come up.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just walk you through. I might just zoom in a touch. Uh, Sorry, should know how to use a computer by now. Here we go. So these are our regular suite of generic reports that we have available, pretty much ready to be turned on for you tomorrow. So I'll walk you through what they are. So a first one is AWA export. So those of you who are Wagyu members, we have a lot of people using Black Box to combine both their Wagyu feeder check predicted results and their end carcass results. So whether they're sending directly to the processor or through a feedlot and getting that through their feedlot feedback on Black Box. Um, so it's really an easy way to combine the data by individual EID and pulling out all of the traits that AWA need for you to share that as an export in order for you to be able to get your rebate back for doing that Wagyu feeder check test. So that's been a very exciting report for a lot of our Wagyu members. In the past, it's been a bit of a pain point trying to link that data to individual EIDs manually through multiple spreadsheets.
Yeah, that's I've been privileged to be in a couple of those conversations with Matt and the team at AWA, and that's really exciting that we could pull that together because I believe the rebates, $4 or $5, and it's a hell of a hassle combining those different results. So I know a lot of people will be pretty excited about that.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of opportunity to get a little bit of money back, especially for some of those of you who have done quite a number of feeder check tests. So our next one is the dam performance report, and I'll also talk about our sire performance report at the same time. So those of you who are parental verifying and identifying like actual particular sires and dams through DNA testing, this is a great report for you to combine a few particular traits by that sire or by that dam. Now, we do have a number of people who are also just using like sire and dam groups, so they might want to track a certain line of females. So obviously, whatever comes through in that sire and dam field, it groups those particular traits that you're wanting to focus on and gives you a snapshot of how those genetics are performing. Our next one is monthly abattoir performance. So really a summary of all of your carcass sales. For those of you who are sending multiple consignments often, and you might be sending to different processors, it summarizes those kill results by location. So it gives you where they were processed, number of head, the date, average price received, average carcass weight, average MSA index, and then a gross margin. So it just gives you an idea, quick snapshot of how you're performing each kill. Similar, we have our purchase summary report. So instead of your sales, it's what you're buying in. And I guess just another summary of what sale yard you've bought from, date, number of head, average price paid, average weight. I think that's about it. But that's really handy. We're seeing people commonly compare or reconcile that against, say, their zero or their Phoenix, and gives people, they might provide that to banks and specific people just to summarize their purchases for a 12-month period or a financial period. Sire performance, we covered off that briefly, and I'll show you through an example of that. But our last one is again back to that Wagyu feeder check and carcass data. Instead of being split by individual EID, this is actually grouped by those sires that you're using. So quick snapshot of how that sire was predicted to perform, either marbling or the whole feeder check index, along with its actual progeny performance. So it really gives you an idea of how those genetics are performing and correlating that data. So Shannon, I might just pull up.
Yeah, while you grab that up, so you've been using the terminology generic or standard. So what does that mean?
Yeah, great point. So these standard reports are the ones that we have most commonly been requested for. So these have been set up and are available for you to add to your account pretty much straight away. So really part of our generic list of reports that are available now. So I've just pulled up an example of what those reports look like, again in Excel format, but this is our sire performance report. So lists all the sires, number of progeny that have got carcass data, and then lists off a few carcass traits. So average marbling, average carcass weight, EMA, P8 fat, and rib fat. And then we do have an idea of how those progeny have performed on farm in terms of daily growth as well. So that's, again, one of our basic standard reports that are available.
Yeah. And so, what about a company that wants to, or a property that wants to add an additional trait to this? So, say if they're doing MIJ imaging or something like that.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So definitely available as an option. Pretty much if that data is feeding into Blackbox in some way or from some source, it will be available to add to those reports. So it's just about getting in contact with us. And as Shan said, it might be MIJ or specific genomic traits, cull traits on farm, scanning data for those of you who are breeding bulls. So that definitely available to add. It's just about getting in touch and working out where that data is coming from and then how we can bring that into your report.
Okay, so then what about completely new reports? So, for our customers that require something a little bit more bespoke or boutique, and they're looking at a particular trait, or they're trying to work out something across their vertically integrated supply chain. Yeah, can we work with those guys?
Definitely, yeah. A lot of our customers that are using Black Box as a platform amongst their business are, we've got some bigger pastoral companies or, as you said, vertically integrated companies that obviously come with a lot of intensive data. So they might have particular traits or KPIs that they want to focus on across their business. And that data may not be part of these generic standard reports that we've been talking about. So essentially, and I guess another example of is current management reports that they've been building in Excel, and they might have, one or two particular staff employed to run those reports each week or each month. So they've really approached us to replicate those management reports because that data all flows into Blackbox. So it's definitely an option. It's more so, again, just about chatting to us and working out what it is that you need. And essentially, if it's feeding into Blackbox, it's available to be pulled together in what we call a completely new custom report rather than just being a standard one that's available that what we've run through today.
Awesome. And so what is the process for, I guess, getting access to the standard reports first?
Yeah, so standard reports, as I've mentioned, they're pretty much set up, ready to go, those generic ones. So get in touch with Em or Shan or Meg to get this set up. And that's just about what it is that you need and how often you might need it. So whether that's monthly or quarterly, some of these you might only run every 12 months or when you might need it end of financial year, for example. So yeah, get in touch and they can and turn this on for you and talk about what's involved in getting that set up for you.
And then what about the custom reports? What's the process through moving to
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, I guess these custom reports are so different from business to business, and it really depends on what data it is that you're collecting, and what you're wanting to get out of those reports. So we really take, I guess we've called it kind of a discovery phase or that development phase one. So we take a lot of effort to get that right and work closely with you to understand what it is that you need and where that data might be coming from and how we pull that data together in an accurate but simple way for you. Again, working out how often it is that you need it. And as I said, where that data is coming from. It might be multiple sources, and just making sure it's flowing through to that report and fulfilling what you need.
Yeah. And so what's the cost of, I guess, firstly the standard reports, and if you can comment on like what's the cost structure for the custom reports?
Yeah. So depending on the level of subscription that you're currently already on for your black box subscription, these might be available for you ready to go at no cost. So for example, for those of you who already pay for the Sire and Dam add-on, these Sire and Dam reports will be available to you. So again, when you contact one of the team to get that set up for your account, it will just be working out what you're already paying for, and some of those might be able to be turned on for you straight away. Otherwise, we can happy to help and work out what that looks like for you. And with custom reports, there's usually an initial setup fee, again, depending on what's required and working through that development phase to figure out the complexity of the report that you require. And then generally no ongoing charge unless there's an additional data management required each month or each quarter. So yeah, a little bit of an open-ended answer, but
Yeah.
definitely can be worked out when you approach the team about what it is that you're wanting to pull together that you might already pull together, or something new that you want to look at across your herd. A lot of you already have that data available to you. It's just about utilizing it and working out what it is that is important to you.
Yeah. We have a couple of questions that probably relate to that in the chat. So is there like a cost per run? You said like in terms of the standard reports, I'm guessing that these can be run on different bases. Is there a charge on how regularly you run it, or is it kind of all covered? Yeah, is there any kind of hidden fees, I guess?
Yeah, so again, it's depending on probably what report it is that you choose to add to your subscription. Again, so some of you who are already paying for the premium subscription, there's two reports included as part of that subscription. But then to continually run that, there's no additional cost. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so there's no difference between if somebody's choosing to run it monthly, or if it's just annually. It's basically about having access to that report
that's
whenever.
exactly right. Yeah, all the hard work's done by our team. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, wonderful. And then another question here is like, what's the kind of timeline in terms of building a custom report?
So yeah, I guess that's something that we can answer for you as we work through that discovery phase. Because if it's something that we already have started to pull together, there obviously won't be as longer time with the turnaround time. But if it's something completely new, and again working out where it is that we're bringing that data in from your account, so probably best to quote you on that time frame when we meet with you, but it can be anywhere from a week or two to a month or so. So yeah, again, probably depending on the complexity of what it is that you're chasing. Those standard ones pretty much won't throw the team under the bus, but overnight.
Yeah, yeah, we might put some pressure on Will if we promise it too soon. But yeah, I think you make a good point there. It is around those timeframes is really around the complexity of it. And I think at least in my experience with the custom reports, that discovery phase is the most important part of it, is making sure that we are pulling the right information in a format that makes sense, because it is quite dynamic whether you choose to look at, say, breed before sire or sire before breed, or different classes of animals. It can really change the results.
Yeah, and I think without getting too technical, Shen, something that I've really learned is there's data points where you want us to show the first data point seen, because you don't believe that should change. And then there's obviously data fields in these reports that you're wanting to update all the time and show the most recent result. So it's really about getting those things right, and again, making sure that we're showing you the correct data point that's feeding through into Blackbox. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. If there's any other questions, pop them in. Was there anything that I haven't asked you, Edwina, that we needed to cover?
Um, I don't think so. I'm hoping most of you on the webinar are probably familiar with what Blackbox does already, and this is, I guess, a high-level add-on. For those of you who maybe don't use Blackbox already, I guess as Shannon and I have mentioned, this is really different to what we already have available, which is our different dashboards that cover off different parts of the supply chain. So we've got breeding, growing, feedlot, and carcass insights. And as I was sort of talking through before, it's really easy for users to jump into those different parts of that supply chain and view performance data. But this has really come about to look at that whole of life performance data and group it by different levels of that data, mobs,
Yeah.
size, classes, as I've mentioned. So yeah, it looks like a basic spreadsheet, but it's pulling that information together for you from multiple different places, to save you a lot of time and hassle, and also guarantee accuracy within the data too. I think one thing I'll also like to add, Shan, is what I've seen the last few months too with clients that we've been testing this with, is it really highlights how that data is being collected. So using it as a little bit of an auditing tool to say, oh, hang on, that shouldn't be a mob, that's been recorded the wrong way. So it allows them to go back to their processes on farm and get that right, and tidy that data collection up. It's just an easy way of summarizing how that information has come together. So I think that's something important to add as well. It's being used for a lot of different reasons.
Self-auditing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think being able to share that, whether you work with a buyer for your cattle or for your bulls or something like that, that gives an incredible being able to give that back to your bull breeder. Some of the progeny results gives them some really, really valuable feedback. I know certainly most bull breeders are really interested in how the progeny perform, and that's the impetus of things like the progeny test program. So yeah, this is a really exciting thing. If we don't have any more questions, I think I'd just like to say thank you, Edwina, that this is certainly part of your legacy at Black Box, and wouldn't have happened without you. Your fingerprints are all over the application, the team, the customers we work with. And this is really exciting. I'm so glad that we could get it launched before your departure. And yeah, hopefully our clients are just as thrilled with using it. And so a big thank you for joining us. And for everybody else who's joined us on this webinar. We'll wrap up a little bit early and everyone can go get a nice drink of ice cold water. But if there's any questions, Edwina is around for about a month. So she's the expert. You've still got her number. And otherwise, myself, Meg can answer everything else. So just reach out.
Cool. Thanks, Jen. Thanks everyone
Yeah,
for joining.
awesome. Thank you guys. Bye.